Hey everybody, welcome to the Distinctive Agent Show, where we help you build a business for a truly distinctive life. I am Todd Conklin, the Todd father. I've got my millennial buddy,
Yo,
the
yo,
rapping,
yo.
the rapping realtor, Keenan the Kid. Coit, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man, just chilling. It's Friday. We were just talking about the pool, how hot our pools are, and how hot it is outside. And I'm going to be in there the rest of the afternoon after we get done with this call, sipping some beers, hanging out with friends. Life is good.
So maybe we should hit a couple of like serious topics about the millennial versus the old guy.
Yeah.
So when it comes to beer 30, like do millennials drink like Trulies and White Claws and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, all that stuff. I mean, I like them. I'm definitely more of a beer guy. Like, give me just like a Coors Light, and I'm happy. But yeah, the ladies, they love the Trulies, love the White Claws, and there's just so many coming out. It's like one of the hottest markets for millennial drinkers. It's like those companies are blowing up.
That's so funny. And so the old guys are like, "Oh no, I think I need a Tito's soda splash of grapefruit, or let's
That
just go
sounds good
straight.
though. That
Let's just go
sounds
straight to the
good.
whiskey."
I think maybe we're just cheap, so we get the cheap stuff. We're
You
not
think so?
buying
I don't know, man.
Tito's.
You know what's funny is I find when we go to the markets like in the mountains, they're beer drinkers, right? But it's fancy beer, right? It's like initials and micro brews and
Yep, IPAs, all that.
uh, oh, that's pretty funny. All right, well
Which,
that's really
the IPAs though are good, but also they're not great, man. Like when I was in college, that was the cool thing. It was like, "What's your favorite beer?" And everyone would say, "New Belgium IPA, crafted in 1984," or whatever. And I'd just be like, "No, these are trash. Like if you drink a bunch of IPAs, you feel terrible."
that's too funny. Listen, if I'm gonna spend that kind of money on a fancy beer, I'm probably gonna have like a Rombauer, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Just saying.
No
Okay.
doubt.
All right. Well, this really that's not the topic, right? So why,
Yeah,
why, why
so
don't you run? Why don't you run
yeah.
us today, buddy?
Yeah, so it was good seeing you the other day. So Todd was in Grand Junction. The Todd father was officially back home. It was great to see you. Fun to kind of talk and hear about the market. But I guess tell people who have been listening what you've been up to, because I know you've just been going office to office and just kind of seeing people checking in and doing your thing.
Yeah, leading, right? Like obviously for a bit with what's been going on in our personal lives, it's been hard for me to get to some of the offices. So it's really exciting to be back in the swing and back seeing people and going and mixing it up. Really, uh, I'm always, I don't know why I'm surprised, but I am surprised at how similar all of the markets are, and yet how very different they are. I don't know if that can happen together, but the markets themselves are having some different behaviors. Obviously, we're seeing some consistencies. The inventory levels are climbing in all of the markets, but what buyers are doing with those differ from market to market. I was in Grand Junction, I was over in Steamboat, and through the Vail Valley, which I was told, by the way, that I am not supposed to call it the Vail Valley. I'm supposed to call it the Eagle River Valley because
Good to know.
evidently, yeah, I did know that. I've been calling it the wrong thing. So if I didn't mean to offend anybody.
No, so those who are listening, though, I mean, just like this just shows you the incredible knowledge and what Todd brings to us, this company, and to those of you listening, is we're all kind of questioning right now of what's going on, because each of our markets are kind of crazy and changing and things are happening. And so we're trying to figure out what's really going on. And I think you have just incredible insight because you see all these different markets.
Yeah, the access to the different data points and the different experts, which are you, the agents, right, in the marketplace, is it's pretty cool to be able to aggregate that information and then sort of deliver it back to you all in a way that you can have some conversations with your clients. I'll give you an example. We talk about the 15 markets that we serve, and because we have this microscope into the behavior of multiple markets, we don't get sort of sucked into the bubble. And so we get to talk about, hey, let's talk about specifically what's going on in multiple resort markets and how that's going to impact our local resort market. And the light at the end of the tunnel may or may not be a train, right? And we need to be able to have that conversation with our consumers. And talk about a differentiator to be able to say, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, this is what we're seeing in multiple markets. And the differentiation between me and maybe a competitor of mine is they don't have access to all these multiple markets. And so they may not even know that the market's even changed outside of whatever they're watching on TV.
For sure. And I think that's ammo for us, as this market is just, as the real estate market in general is getting tougher. Us agents need to stand out and really show our value. And if we can do that, we'll succeed. So I think you're spot on.
Value, baby. That was a lot of conversation being talked about this week. I always love where you can sort of look at somebody in the eyeball and you know exactly whether or not they're afraid or not. And the agents who have really built on a solid foundation, they've followed the idea of I need multiple lead sources. They manage their lead sources, meaning they know exactly how many leads, what the conversions are. It's a solid business like they would anybody else. They have this twinkle in their eye because they're seeing the change in the market as a great opportunity. And then of course you've got some
for sure.
maybe they haven't been in the business long enough. They're doing really well, or maybe they're brand new and they just don't even know what to expect. And there's a little trepidation there for sure, as I think there should be. I mean, but we've all watched some people do really well in a changing market.
Yep. Oh yeah. And yeah, I think it weeds out all the other realtors that have kind of saturated the market. And that's nationwide. But also I think it's a great opportunity for new agents, because these are the agents who are going to succeed. The ones who maybe 2 years ago came in and just were lazy and thought this was an easy job, they might not make it. But if you're getting into real estate right now, like, you're going to have to learn pretty fast. This is a tough job and you're going to have to work hard, and they're going to create great work ethic.
Amen to that. I had a call today with a bunch of agents that are sort of new to the business, and I don't know, I get excited for them. I get so excited for them. I mean, a lot of them are going to make it. If you look at the data, right, 87%, it's probably closer to 90% are going to make it. That's a 3 to 5 year number. And so if you look back, then the last time we had any kind of an adjustment was 12 years ago. So if you use that data point, that means that less than 10% of the agents that are currently licensed in the marketplace were in business during the last time there was a changing market.
Crazy.
I was talking to Tom Ferry the other day. He was getting ready to talk about a stat that he had gotten from Real Trends, that 20% of the agents that are currently licensed have been licensed in the last 2 years. And so not only do they not know what an adjusting market is, they don't even know what a normal market is.
Yep. Oh, for sure. There's a funny meme going around that's saying, hey, new agents who have been licensed in the last 2 years, a price reduction is when you lower the price of your listing. And it's so true. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I pulled that out during our call earlier, and it wasn't received as funny as you and I think it was. Oh well. So sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. That was a big L, but
yeah. So continue on. What do you see that's the same in all these markets? What are we seeing?
Well, inventory, right? Inventory has changed. That's for sure. It is climbing. We are seeing price reductions. That is the similarity. We have to be careful, right? It was sort of funny that I talked to a guy and he was just like, yeah, days in the market, it's gone up to 17 days. And I was like, okay. I can remember when days in the market in the higher end, so the global luxury price point, was north of 365 days, right?
For sure.
The average days in the market. And so, certainly that's going to change between more traditional type markets and the luxury markets. I think the other thing that has sort of changed, which really has sort of brought people together, remember you had that sort of price sensitive group of people that are not price sensitive, interest rate sensitive. They were getting a loan, and so any kind of an adjustment in interest rates really had a fairly significant impact. And we saw that first in the first-time home buyer and in the more traditional type purchaser. We didn't see that in the sort of the global luxury space. And so we're starting to see that gap sort of bridge a little bit, whereas there was still some deal flow, there was still some buyer motivation because they were paying cash. That that's not the same so much. I mean, we're sort of seeing less buyers in both spaces for a variety of reasons.
Yep.
I also think we'll probably see people enter the market quicker in the more traditional markets than we will in the resort markets because, the fact is today it's 5.1% in Colorado, for example, is the mortgage rate today. That's not bad. I mean, it's
Not bad.
by
Man,
historical
it is a
measures.
good time to buy right now if you live in Grand Junction. I'm telling you what, like, I have a feeling that we're going to look 6 months from now and be like, man, what an opportunity buyers had to get these. I'm seeing some houses on the market that are sweet deals, sweet deals that are even sitting. And they're still going under contract, but there's just a lot more inventory, and the buyer demand right now is low.
Which is a really exciting time for a buyer who has got to have just been so exhausted over the last 2 years. Right?
Yep.
So yeah, interest rates are up, but they seem to be normalizing. Inventory levels are up, which should put some, hate to say it, a little bit of pressure on the prices of the properties. But can I just say it? Like for the last 2.5 years, all we've talked about is, oh, if you buy something at 500,000 today, it'll be worth 550 tomorrow. From an agent perspective, we've gotten to be pretty lazy.
Yep.
Truthfully, people are not buying and selling homes. Well, let me back up. 95% of the homes that are bought and sold in a traditional market are bought and sold because of a life change period. It has nothing to do with interest rates, has nothing to do with anything other than how many bedrooms, is it in the right school district, and this is the life that we want to live.
Yep.
Kind of the same thing in the resort markets, right? Somebody that's going to go spend $3, $7, $12 million on a home is probably not super sensitive to the price. They're buying it. If they were, they wouldn't be buying it, right? They're buying it because they want a legacy. They want an experience. They want a lifestyle. We've got to do a great job of digging in early on to identify why people are buying or selling and make sure that we are focused on their why, not ours.
For sure, man. Like, yeah, the why and figuring out, yeah, what it is. And I think for a lot of my buyers, I've just told them over the last couple of years, like prices are rising, but don't worry as much about what the value is. Can you afford this payment? And if so, do you plan on being here for a little while? Okay. There's no reason to not buy then, as long as you can afford it.
That's it. 100%. Couldn't have said it better.
So, okay, what else? Any other similarities, differences, anything that just really stuck out to you?
Well, neither one of the markets is really seeing expireds yet, but I would really keep my eye on expireds. That would be every morning at 7 a.m. I'd be looking at that, and I'd already have my little expired package or listing presentation ready to go. I'd go knock on that door and
That's
leave it on the front
gold.
doorstep.
Gold.
I mean, that's
Gold. We need to be preparing for that right now, knowing that there's going to be a lot of opportunity for that. A lot of opportunity, maybe not a lot, but for foreclosures. There's going to be some opportunity for foreclosures. So making sure that you're prepared if you want to be a listing agent for those foreclosure banks, that you're doing those BPOs for them, that you're in their system for when and if the time does come.
Yeah. I just saw my first alert on a foreclosure in Colorado. I think it was on Monday. I thought,
Yeah.
well, I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Right.
But I do think people are going to have expired listings. I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he said he fielded 3 angry seller calls, and he's a owner of a company, and he said, well, what seems to be the problem? And said, well, my house has been on the market for 22 days is one of them, and I haven't got multiple offers, and this is ridiculous. What are you guys doing over there? And he had to chuckle because that's what people have come to become accustomed to. And so we've got to do a really good job of setting expectations. We've got to be prepared to give exceptional presentations of what it is that we do, keeping in mind that for the last 2.5 years, you did not have to sell your value. You only had to put a property on the market and watch it go. And while I get it, you've got to really get after marketing. I was up in Steamboat, and I was looking at all the market share data. And there's a guy up there by the name of Robert Yazbek, and Robert's got a team, and Robert has grown over the last 10 years, years ago, he's probably a $4 million producer, right? I think he hit like 80 some million dollars last year.
Legend.
Right. I mean, that's massive. And it wasn't by accident. And one of the things that was super cool to watch with Robert was that while agents were taking the opportunity, I'll put that in air quotes, the opportunity to take a listing, simply put it in the MLS, not do any of the marketing to generate additional buyers, not do any of the marketing to generate additional listing opportunities. They just simply put it in. Robert went completely the opposite. He said, oh, nobody's marketing. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
And he crushed his direct mail. He crushed his social media, video, email marketing. He did
expired, his expired boxes, everything, his listing presentations, everything dialed.
He didn't do open houses. He said, nah, I think I'm going to do tacos and tequila. Right. So he threw parties for every listing and he exploded. And so I was looking at the data going, well, did he explode? I knew the answer, but did he explode in, lockstep with the market? Absolutely not. That guy crushed market share like nobody's business. And he is prepared, right? He's prepared to have conversations with sellers and buyers about the value that he and his team offer. And that is really going to pay off now. So I look at his numbers and go, all right, he went to $85 million in production. His market share is going to double over the next 24 months because he's prepared.
I love it. Love it. I agree. And he will. And I love what you're saying, like marketing, we need to be top notch right now. Another thing that we need to be top notch and level up on is just our numbers and knowing the market. If agents aren't in the MLS every day, because to tell you the truth, I didn't need to be the last couple of years. I could pull up some comps and be like, cool, let's list it right here. But now we got to know, we got to look at our active inventory and say, okay, seller, let's go look at these two houses that are listed for sale in your neighborhood or right around you. They're in the same price point. Let's see how they compare. And really taking the time to make sure properties are priced correctly, that sellers' expectations are there and they know about the changing market, and taking all those extra steps.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I honestly, I think if I were to just do it step by step, I'd say, hey, listen, make sure that you have your, I'll call it lead gen, but really we're talking about prospecting in place. And I'm not talking about the nonsense that doesn't really work that you have been suckered into paying for. I'm talking about the real stuff, the stuff that generates leads. Make sure that that is in place. Make sure that your presentation, both on the buyer side as well as the seller side, is absolutely ironclad. Know it inside, outside, upside down, the whole deal. They're very, very specific. If you need any help, DM me. I'm happy to help you with what that looks like. Make sure that you have very clear marketing plans for properties at different segments of the market so that you can come in and slay that conversation. Know your market each and every day, and then figure out how you are going to deliver a full service experience. It's in your mission statement. We are here to create exceptional real estate experiences through the delivery of truly remarkable service, the passionate delivery of truly remarkable service. And so make sure that you have a process in place, whether that's yours, whether that is your concierge team here, whatever it is. But you have to deliver on that. Otherwise, you're just going to get slayed.
I love it. I love it. Amen. I think everything you said is spot on. I think if we do have people who hit you up and want you to go through maybe that buyer presentation or something, maybe that's a good little episode we can do, and that we can walk through how to do a badass buyer presentation, or seller, whatever the people want. So
I love that. Yeah. Well, for sure. Like, go ahead and comment below, and then we'll figure out which one we're going to do. But yeah, I'm happy to do that. I think that would be amazing, and I think we might be able to bring in maybe some guest stars to talk about what it is that they're doing. So
yes, love it. Well, I think that's about it, man. I think it's a nice Friday afternoon podcast. Not too long, not too short. Great stuff. Super valuable. Just anytime we get to hear from you and get to hear your experiences and what you're seeing, because you are one of the fastest growing, biggest real estate companies, and It's great to be on this team.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, love you, and obviously love all you guys. You guys are great. So as we go Friday afternoon, so Coors Light or Bud Light?
Oh, Coors Light for sure. Colorado boy, Coors Light.
That's right. There you go. All right.
How about you?
Yeah, no, for sure, Coors Light. I don't really drink beer, but if I'm going to, it's going to be a Coors Light. What I'm supposed to say is
sponsored by Coors Light.
I drink beer, it's the case, right? Actually, the answer to the question is I like a great Pacifico in Mexico.
Oh yeah, love that. Any Mexican beer, Corona, anything like that. Give it to me on a beach, especially.
There we go. We've solved the beer mystery. All right, you guys have an incredible day, incredible week. As always, build a great business and be distinctive.